Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
BBN Jack Frost, what's up, party people? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. We have to begin with this. First thing I want to say is I already told you that YSL case was probably going to fall right off the rails because remember the main thing that I told y'all? I said, yo, I do not like this judge. That Glanville dude, remember the whole entire time I was like, yo, look, as everybody that, you know, comes to this channel frequently will know, we ourselves be in courtrooms, and I did not like the behavior of the judge in that specific trial. The Glanville dude, Ural Glanville, I think that was his name. Ural, like I think that's how you say it. Like his grandparents was grandparents when they named him because that was his real parents, but they was already grandparents. This guy got an old name. This guy got the name that was there before. I was about to say something. I'm not going to say it because it's a really funny joke, but I'm not going to say it because it might be going against God. So I'm not going to say it, but it was a funny joke. In any regard, as soon as they switched out that specific judge, I knew that things was going to go the other way. We also spoke about it just so we could be clear. And also, I told y'all this previously, that if Trump was that what both of these cases needed, the Trump case that Fani Willis was doing, and in addition to that, this specific case, the YSL case, what they both needed to happen was they both needed for Trump to win. Because one of the reasons in which why Fani Willis had the power that she had is because she had the White House backing her. You think that judge was just extremely beneficial to the prosecution for no reason? I'm talking about Ural Glanville, by the way. You think that he was just, you know, making decisions that was beneficial, or his behavior in the courtroom was just, you know, benefiting the prosecution for no reason? Also, might I add, just so we could be clear, it has been deemed, I believe, by the Department of Justice. I think it was the Department of Justice. I'm not 100% sure, but it was the courts that is over her, just so we could be clear, has deemed that she has to now release all communications between herself and her office, obviously, and the White House that had to deal with the January 6th prosecutions. So for everybody that don't know about that real quick, let me just give you a real quick update, or, you know, to put everybody on that's not sure what's going on in that particular case. So when the January 6th people was going to get prosecuted, obviously they got the case with them, but they also have to bring the case against Trump because that's how they making it like a RICO type situation. Like, say this was like a whole gang. He ordered them over there. They showed up. Things happened. So that's basically what they're trying to say. Like, Trump was the spark. Trump was the pointing guy, the guy in the theater yelling fire. You understand what I'm saying? He's responsible. And that's also what they've been saying in the media, just so we could be clear. So what ended up happening was there was illegal communications between, who's the dude that she was banging? Like, they doing this stuff, kids. Who was that dude? I forgot his name. Shoot. Anyway, that guy and the White House had allegedly had communications when they were not supposed to, because you can't go after the political rival of the president right after having a meeting with the president and their people. Like, what are you doing? So they want the minutes of those communications, and they've been trying to do that. So what had happened was Her office, Fani Willis's office, has said that they don't have to. They said, you know what? You can't do these things from us. We have authority to keep them. That's illegal. And that's not true at all. So there's this organization, I forgot the name of these guys, that have been fighting. Copy. Got to get back to that. I'm just all the way off track. So, no panic axes. You think if Thug didn't take the plea deal, he would have been found not guilty too? I think, and this is just my opinion, I think Thug taking the plea deal was the best thing for everybody involved. Because I think once you take the celebrity out of the mix, this whole case isn't as, it's not as big, you know, because remember, they're not really after those other guys. They're after Thug, right? So when you take Thug out of the equation, this isn't as interesting of a case. It's not that big of a win. The state didn't lose as much because with the person they actually wanted, they ended up making a deal with them. They didn't get off scot-free. There's still a precedence that didn't get set, you know, of him being able to beat the case. That precedence didn't get set. So the government could also take that as a win. So it's basically like a stalemate, even though Thug won. But now when they try to use some of these same similar tactics to take down someone else, it's not automatically a loss for the state. It's not automatically a loss for the government. Because there was no precedence that was actually set that now the defense will be able to go in front of a judge and say, well, in this particular case, this happened and that happened and that happened. Now do you understand? Nah, you ain't throwing me off track at all, fam. This is back to the case that we're discussing the case. You asked me a question about the actual case, and I'm answering it as best as I can. You didn't throw me off track. I appreciate you. So, basically, what happens in that particular case, they'll be able to go and say that there's a precedence that was basically set in the previous case. So now the government doesn't have to live with losing this case outright with the main person. Now they can always say, if somebody tries to refer back to this case, well, we made a deal with the primary that we were going after. So after that happened, these other individuals, the case wasn't as strong against them. So, you know, what else would you expect? In any regard. So Fani Willis, for everybody that don't know, one dude completely off and the other guy only on a gun charge. And shout out to the first dude that beat it because, oh man, pause. Shout out for the this world, fam. You know what? I got it right here. I'll show you. I got it right here. So. This is, I don't want to go through the whole thing. I had like a thing going on. So hold on, boom. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that you all have reached a verdict. Mr. Foreperson, is that correct? All right. And was it unanimous? Yes. All right. And this verdict has been filled in and signed and dated by you, correct? Or for each defendant? Yes. All right. And I noticed that Mr. Kendrick's verdict form is dated December 2nd. Is that because that's when you all reached the verdict with regard to him? Okay. And then Mr. Stillwell's is dated today? Correct. Okay. All right, Mr. Kendrick, you have been found not guilty on all charges.
Could we just say the first thing that dude did was thank God? First thing this dude did. First thing this dude did was thank God. I just wanted to point that out because that's the first thing I noticed about this.
Guilty on all charges. Mr. Stillwell. Can you please stand? You have been found guilty on count 64, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and not guilty on every other charge.
Now, I'm not making no slight about that guy just immediately going and hugging his attorney. That's normally what people do. So it is what it is. So I just want to say this. So just so we could be clear, these other individuals weren't found guilty of basically anything. The only thing dude was found guilty of, the second guy, was a gun that they found on him. I'm assuming. So I don't know if Thug still being there would have necessarily changed anything, because it seems to me like the jury already had their minds made up. They did not believe the prosecution. And see, this is the thing, right? So one of the main, I'll talk about two cases that we covered, right? So one of the cases that we covered was the one with Troy Ave and Taxstone. Remember, we covered that case. And that's these two cases I was in the courtroom for. So while covering that case, I told you that the prosecution was really good, but not really likable. They weren't trying to be likable, just so we could be clear. At least it didn't seem like that was one of their strong suits. But what was their strong suits was gathering evidence, creating a narrative, sticking to their points, and then displaying it to the jury. That was 100% one of their, attributes. So now let's look at the prosecution in the which case is this? The one with the last one we just did. With Alpo, right? The prosecution looked like they was doing everything they can to endear themselves to the jury. But their evidence was not there. They couldn't create a timeline that was believable for the jury, even with 1 million damn cameras. But they was trying to be endearing to the jury. And it didn't work because the evidence didn't line up. So when your evidence just don't line up, there's a problem. The jury could literally not like you as a person, but if they don't believe you as a person, I think that that's more important. And so the fact that the first guy was found guilty of nothing, and the second dude was only found guilty of a gun that I'm assuming that they found on him, so the actual evidence was on his person, that leads me to believe that the jury might not have had a lot of faith in the prosecution and the honesty of the evidence in which was displayed to them. So I don't think it matters, with all due respect. I don't think it matters, in all due respect. Yeah, no. Weirdos. Alright. This is what we gotta deal with over here. This is what we gotta deal with over here. Weirdos, man. This is what I gotta deal with over here. So, just so we could be clear, I must have been killing it, because I don't be looking at my chat. So I must have been killing it. So shout out to that, I guess. In any regard. So basically what had happened was the jury didn't believe them. And let's just talk about the fact that you had to have a judge removed. So now, how do you think the jury not only feels about the prosecution, but also feels about the fairness of the rulings in the case? And then you have another judge come on. Shout out Washington Marcus, salute. Shout out to BX Rich, salute. Then you got another judge come on. And what does that judge do? That judge comes in with a completely different demeanor, a completely different way of handling the prosecution's indiscretions and the defense's indiscretions. Because remember, the prosecution was doing things they weren't supposed to do with the old judge, Ural Glanville, and he was just so apologetic for them. And then every once in a while he'll get huffy and puffy, but for the most part, he was apologetic for them. So now another judge comes in, and all of the shenanigans that they was doing previously, this one is not going for. So even if they weren't updated on why that judge was removed, it's obvious whatever that the judge was doing something that the judge wasn't supposed to be doing. And now this new judge is coming in, and their behavior is, completely opposite that of the previous judge. So what do you think the jury is going to think about all of that other time that they spent? Who could we trust? Now they're telling us if we don't have 100% faith, then it's not guilty. So guess what? It's not guilty. Because how can we have 100% faith in the damn thing was a whole circus with the old judge, and now we got a whole new judge in here, and now it looks like everybody on their P's and Q's. I ran out of coffee. Yeah, so not guilty. Bananas. And I'm not saying that I want anybody to be guilty. I just want to be clear on this. What I'm saying is for the prosecution to have been saying, we have all of this evidence. We have so much evidence, it's going to take 8 to 9 months to display it. 10 months we got so much evidence. And it's just not guilty? You know they just re-elected her, right? You know they just re-elected her. Re-elected her. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. And also, isn't one of the things that I told you, if Trump wins or when Trump wins, they're coming after her. She's not going to have her position much longer, whether she's elected official or whatever, because they're going to go after the money. They're going to follow the money. And her bank account, I think they said she makes something like $200K a year or something like that, $118K a year, something like that. And somehow she has like 20 million in her bank account or some shit. Like how? So, yeah. So one of the things that they're going to be doing is tracking the money. And that's really what the DOGE is about. I don't think people get it. Okay, could we just talk about politics for 2 seconds and then we can get back to this? So, you do understand what is currently being accused of by the Democratic Party is currently being accused of, all politicians in general, including the people who was running the Ukraine government. The top people. You do understand what they're being accused of. They're being accused of taking money out of the monies that was being sent over there to the Ukraine and then sending them back to America in different ways. And Chuck Schumer and who's the other dude? The dude that did keep freezing up on camera. Chuck Schumer and I forget the other guy's name. He's the Republican dude with the glasses though. They allegedly got millions from this, including others. So what is the DOGE to do? They're an their purpose is to look at the transactions that's happening on the federal level, the government level, and see what needs to be cut. So that means that if you work for the government, they're going to be also looking at any peculiar transactions. Because how do you think they're hiding a lot of this money that they're receiving? You think they're just receiving it straight to their bank account? It could just easily be traced? Or do you think they're hiding it in places and then subtracting it from those places? What do you think is happening? You know, I just explained what money laundering was when I just gave you that real quick analogy of hiding it in places and subtracting it. So what do you think was happening? So yeah, that's what the DOGE is. DOGE is really about. If people didn't get it, I don't think people got that because that's why they scared. So imagine you're a company that gets a government handout. Guess what? Imagine if you're an actor who has a charity and the government, for some strange reason, has been just dumping money into your damn charity. I don't think people get it. Why everybody's so scared. So I'm not coming back to America. I don't think people get it. Now, I don't know what they're going to actually do. I'm just explaining some applications. Because they are in charge of cutting government spending. How did I tell y'all that the Democrats make their money? They go to the poor and impoverished neighborhoods and they open up clinics. And then they fund those clinics. And then they take the money from those clinics. How many times have I told y'all that? Guess what that is? Government spending. Sheesh. Fam. Y'all think I just be figuring stuff out by accident? How many times have I told y'all what was going to happen before it happened? Y'all think I just be figuring out shit like that by accident? Or do you think I actually put in some work? I mean, glory be to God. Jesus is king. Like, so whatever happens is because God wills it. Just so we can be clear. But you don't think I do my walking in order for God to walk with me? That's what I'm saying. All glory to him. Just so we can be clear. So I just want to say this real quick, right? And I want to talk about the thing that's happening over there with what Biden is just currently being accused of, and some of the things that they're doing right now, which I don't think y'all gonna have to worry much longer about whether, no one is gonna be held accountable for these niggas is really a crime family. Fam. Anyway. Shout out to them niggas. Y'all love gangsters. Anyway, right? So I don't even know. I don't even know if that's a bad thing. You know what? I watched The Penguin. I enjoyed it. And when the Penguin did the thing when he killed this little man. And I was like, oh man, Penguin. But then I got over that immediately. Because I said, makes sense. He's the Penguin. I just want to be clear on this. So, know what? Makes sense. He's Biden. Y'all mad at him for his son and pardoning his son, but I'm not. I didn't really expect anything different. I would have been more surprised if he didn't pardon his son. Like, if he would have left office and if somebody would have been like, yo, he forgot to pardon his son. I'm like, oh, shit. He did, didn't he? Like, I expected for him to do that. I don't get how people are really surprised. Like, I can't believe Biden's over his. I believe him. I expected it. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't Biden's be doing that? Oh, them Bidens. Why wouldn't he be doing that? What are you talking about? These guys are crazy. Oh, man. We're going to move on to Biden and what they're doing. What we at? We at about the 26-minute mark, right? We're going to move on to Biden and what they doing. I want to talk this politics shit. Whatever, shot. Salute. I want to talk some of this politics shit. So, if y'all want to go back to YSL, all YSL questions are still on the table. But I think we discussed that pretty well in the beginning of the show. So, but I'm still willing to answer because I don't know what questions you might have. So the trolls came in here and tried to throw me off, but in actuality, it was a good question. I think they did that by accident. I'm sorry. I don't think of some of the words that I say before I say it. They're really just reflexive, right? So I say the thing, but I didn't really think about it. That happens sometimes. My apologies. In any regard. So, for everybody that don't know, two things I want to discuss about Biden. One, why is even Democrats saying that they believe that Biden is attempting to start World War III? Why are Democrats saying that? Forget what the Republicans are accusing anyone of. Because I expect for Republicans and Democrats to disagree, especially on something of such an accusation. Right? I would expect for them to disagree. So we'll talk about that in 2 seconds. But first, let's have a real quick acknowledgement that the Democratic Party, or people that have been known to favor Biden over Trump, is also saying, just so we can be clear, that they believe that Trump is trying to start a situation. Oh, wowzers. Start a situation with Russia before he leaves office. United Healthcare CEO fatally shot unalived in NYC shooting outside of Hilton was possibly targeted. Y'all better pay attention. United Healthcare CEO targeted, fatally shot. Do y'all understand what a Hilton is in Manhattan? This is not somewhere where people get shot. Yeah, you do understand what an assassination is, right? Y'all people, pay attention. Because I'm going to say something, in the future that's going to relate to this. And to the fact why do most of these dudes come to New York to have meetings? What else is in New York, just so we could be clear? The Southern District, the Northern District, the Southern District specifically. You know what's in the Southern District? A lot of financial things. Healthcare CEO. You know who everybody is scared of? RFK. Tell me where the lies at. New York meeting. Pay attention. I think I'm gonna move on. I don't know if I should. We're not gonna go into that. I don't think I want to know about that story right now. Pay attention. I think I know what's going on. Real quick, they're about to change our food. So our food that we buy from the stores, they're about to change all of the shit and make it so they're taking the toxins and everything out. They're about to take the fluoride out of the water. They're about to do a lot of shit. So there's a lot of people they're talking to. Also, in addition to that, that was health care. That might be about COVID. Remember what New York is accused of? Y'all forgot what New York is accused of? Killing all the old people in the old folks' homes by sending the people with COVID to the old folks' homes, making all the old people get COVID. And then it was like, yo, most of the people that's dying is on those ventilators. Every time somebody get on a ventilator, they never get off. Y'all people remember all that? I guess that would be healthcare also, correct? Meeting, New York City. That person was here for a meeting in any regard. It's just a question of what the meeting was for. That's it. It was coming out of the Hilton. You do know that's a hotel. In any regard. So, the alleged Biden crime family So the alleged Biden crime family has a lot of dealings out there in the UK. And one of the dealings that they have, just so we could be clear, has to deal with why this whole entire problem created in the first place and why Russia decided that they wanted to invade Ukraine. Now, two things was going on, about 2 or 3 things, just so we could be clear. Russia had already made a deal, I believe, in the 90s or something, where they, or with Obama, I forget who it was, but they had already made a deal. It could have even been before that. I don't know when the deal was made, but there was a deal made that the Ukraine would never be part of NATO. There was already a deal made. So the Ukraine can never be part of NATO. Now, remember when Biden got into office, what was one of the main things that they was talking about before this whole thing even started? That they was going to try to make the Ukraine, bring the Ukraine in at NATO. And Russia literally was saying, if y'all do that, we coming down there. Now, that's the same thing like when your parents is like, yo, if y'all don't shut up, no, keep it down. I'm gonna get up out of the seat. Ain't nobody gonna like it. And then they don't keep it down. So the parent gets up out of the seat and don't nobody like it. What do you think would happen if Russia tried to send freaking and their troops or started putting labs in Puerto Rico? If Russia was like, you know what? We got some chemical labs that we want to create. We're going to go put those in Puerto Rico. What do you think is going to happen? You think America's just going to be like, you know what? We're fine with those chemical labs on our territories. Think that's going to happen? Now imagine if they got like 200 of these damn things. Allegedly. And guess who was the individual that was the alleged point man for America? You guessed it. He's a Biden's. Allegedly. So, just so we can be clear. Biden and his family has dealings allegedly in the Ukraine that allegedly would have issue, after they're not in office anymore, on how to protect it. I don't think people get me. And people be like, yo, Frost, how did you know that this shit was gonna happen? They be texting me and shit. And I just be like, well, first of all, I don't know. So whenever I say I don't know, that's God's doing. I don't know how I know. But in any regard, always when I receive information, we all do this on some level. Just so we could be clear, this isn't an abstract concept that has to deal only with me. It has to deal with just how the human brain works. Often we realize things before we know it. Pardon me. We know things before we realize it. Realizing something and knowing something is completely two different things. Like you can know something but not realize it. So sometimes after I realize it, I realize that I knew it already, or I realize how I came to the knowledge of what I have now for me to realize it. And so I'm making that point to say this. All of these little tiny nuggets be it. I just pay attention. I'm not doing anything greater or grander than anyone else, except for allowing for information to come to me without denoting it as anything else other than the information in which it is. I'm not attributing any of my personal bias to anything. I'm just receiving the information and allowing for it to marinate into other information come that could contextualize the information in which I already have. So when I'm telling you that I believe that a lot of what Biden is doing right now before he leaves office is for the preparation of how are we going to protect these alleged chemical factories that's allegedly in the Ukraine that Russia is trying to get at. What do you think is really going on here? Why is there are American Democratic politicians that's saying that they don't agree with Biden okaying the Ukraine to shoot missiles into Russia? For everybody that don't know, that's a thing that happened. Some Russian soldiers died. And Putin is still over there saying we just cannot wait till January 20th because we do not want to escalate this. While Biden is shooting missiles into Russia, escalating this, allegedly. But you tell me I'm wrong when I say if Harris would have won, it would have been terrible. And you're still going to have people saying, but Trump is starting the war. Why you have the actual people who would be directing the war saying the only way that the war can be stopped is if Trump is in office. So I need for you to explain this to me. I'll be patient. You telling me that there's a dude who got nukes, his people was getting shot at and killed, and he's saying, I'm trying my best not to retaliate because I know when the next administration come in, we'll be able to work something out. And he's the bad guy? Not the people shooting the damn rockets. I need an explanation. That's all. I need for someone attached to the thinking of sending and shooting to step forward in a room with reporters and ask and answer their honest questions. And I want a myriad of different types of reporters. I want reporters from Algeria, right? I want reporters from the left. I want reporters from the right. I want some reporters from down under. I don't know. They come up in there with big ass knives and hats and shit with crocodiles and shit like this. A good day, mate. I want some of those guys. I want every type of mindset in the room. Even the LGBTQ community guys, I want them represented. I want every type of mindset in the room. And I want the individual to come up to the podium and answer the questions honestly. Why Ukraine shooting missiles at a country that's saying that we don't want to escalate is a good idea. And please don't let it be that John with that chick with the curly hair. Don't let it be her. You're ruining that hairdo for everybody. Get a new one. Sheesh. Can't stand that woman. So that's what I think he's doing. Because they're trying to send more money there. I think a lot of the money that's being sent there isn't just to be laundered back to America. I believe a lot of that money is also so they could try to fortify the situation that they have over there. Okay, so let's stop talking about that for 2 seconds so I could just explain something to you, a concept. So you know what Trump said that he's going to do on day one? The first thing he's going to do is all of these LGBT individuals that's part of the army, get gone. You want to know why that's going to save the army money? By kicking them out, bringing back the ones that had left because they didn't agree with the COVID situation, and then also giving them back pay. That's going to save America money. You want to know why? Because do you understand how much money right now is being spent on all of the cosmetic things that the soldiers need in order to be able to live the lifestyle that they're living after they've been cutting their junk off and everything else? You know what their medical bills look like? And now you got 15,000 people with medical bills like that the government's footing. Are you paying attention? One of these people, the medical bills is probably like 30, 40,000, 50,000. And I'm talking about for the year. Because they're getting all of the top, whatever they need. Now they're there for 4 years, 5 years. No, if nothing would have had been done, 20 years. Millions of dollars of cosmetic surgery in order to ease the pain of them turning from one gender to another. Or whatever other kind of surgeries in which they had in order for them to feel more like whatever the thing is that they think that they are. You know the money that the government is going to save? Even with giving those other dudes that's coming back pay. Think about that. In any regard, I want everybody in the room to ask this dude questions. Because we should all want to know why the Ukraine is shooting at Russia. Wasn't they trying to stop Russia from invading them? If you're trying to stop Russia from invading you, why are you shooting at Russia? Shouldn't you be shooting at the area in which they were invaded to get them up out of there? I think people just don't be thinking. I think individuals, they want us to think selfishly because, understand, even when they try to say, oh, you're selfish, you got to give, no. They want us to think selfishly for them. How can a Whoopi Goldberg go on television and say that she's part of the working class when she's worth like $50 million? Yeah, this works. What am I doing? I want to get it right. 30 million. I want to get it right. I said 50, right? I was wrong. So she's worth $30 million, but she's telling you that she's part of the working class. She's struggling like the rest of us. If she quit her job, she don't know how she gonna live. She was just saying that. Like, how do y'all accept that? She was just saying it. She don't know what she gonna do. She was like, oh man, I'm like you guys. If I quit my job, I don't know what I'm gonna do. What the hell are you talking about? Worth $30 million. She immediately quit. We hate what you're doing. I mean, let me be quiet. I think you should do whatever's in the best interest of you. You want to keep doing it, Whoopi, keep doing it. I don't really give a damn. I don't watch shit. I'm not a hater. Yeah, I don't watch you. So that's all I could do. You know what I'm saying? But there are people that watch Whoopi Goldberg and enjoy the show. I don't agree with watching it. They don't believe she's propaganda. We have a difference of an opinion. It is what it is. All it is. So I want to get off of the Ukraine conversation for 2 seconds, and I want to say, do y'all see what just happened in Africa? So, just so we could be clear, a ton of African leaders of different African countries have come out and said, thank God Trump won. Shout out to the Most High. Glory be to God. Jesus is King. So a ton of African nations have come out and said this. Somalia, Kenya, Sierra Leone, a ton of these nations. They're like, thank you. Trump is back. You know what these are the same nations that said? Aren't these the same nations that said they want America to leave out of their country because their country was making people gay? They was trying to bring their gay politics there. Aren't these the same countries? Aren't these the same countries? They was like, yo, we don't want Americans and they bringing their gay politics. In America, they ask us for stuff, and then, but in order for them to give us the stuff, we got to do their gay policy things. Like, we got to let them experiment on people and do stuff that we don't want to do in order to be able to get the stuff from America. Y'all remember that? This is a thing. Go look it up. I don't got a cap. That was their reasoning in order why they was receiving stuff from Russia and China. This is right when the whole BRICS thing started coming about, when people started realizing that there was a BRICS movement, which is done, by the way, because Trump said, how does nigga Trump say something and the whole rest of the world be like, alright, fuck it, that's what we on now? Nigga Trump said, whoever's involved with this BRICS shit, you're not gonna be able to do no business in America when I get in the office. Oh Lord. These other countries said, you know what? We was just joking. We was just joking, Trumps. We wasn't serious as over here. All of these other countries is giving it up like that now. Trump said, Joe, I'm going to hit you with some tariffs. You're going to be in trouble, Mexico. If you better stop these damn people from coming to our border. Mexico said, you know what, Trump? We mad at you about these other things. And then she go like this. Stop those people from going to the damn border. Like, yo, stop those people. They're at the border. Stop. No more caravans. So that happened. And I'm just want to be clear about this. The same countries that was like, we don't want any more aid from America. We tired of doing butt stuff. That's literally what they were saying. We tired of it. Just so we can be clear, I would have me and my people, I would have just been like, people, this is our last couple of years. We just got to make everything stretch. That's what I would have been telling the people, because, you know, butt stuff, that's not an option. But these countries was like, they didn't want to deal with America no more because they didn't want to do butt stuff. Why is these the same countries that's like, thank you, Trump? It's crazy how I just come with facts, right? Ain't that crazy? I just come with facts. Over and over. Bang. More facts. Bang. More facts. Bang. But they tell you I'm wrong. But I'm just hitting you with facts. So for everybody that don't know, Africa has some of the biggest deposits of minerals on the planet that are actively being mined. I have to say that because there's mineral deposits all over the place that just aren't being mined for whatever the reason might be. So that are actively being mined. Remember, they're paying people pennies on the hundredths of a penny on the penny. Like, it's terrible how they're paying people to excavate these extremely, valuable materials. Right? And so the companies are making, like, so much profit. Very high profit margin. We're spending hundreds of pennies on the penny to have something excavated from the ground. And then we're selling the same materials, at a very high value. So we're just killing it. Even if you was to do that same type of mining in America, you have to pay the people their value. So even on the materials will still be of great value, so you're still making a really good profit. The profit margin isn't as huge. You're saving so many hundreds of millions of dollars when you're doing this same thing in another country, just so we can be clear. So what I believe the Biden crime family, the alleged crime family is doing is setting up what they're going to do for the future. They're setting up how future generations of Bidens is going to have influence. And that's what I believe the situation in the Ukraine is about, and also the situations in Africa. And I thought it was also interesting that he was like, we're giving $1 billion to Africans. And then I was like, They got so many resources over there. It sounds like the thing to do. But I heard about this on the same day that all of the African nations was like, Donald Trump's is back. So I was like, now I see why you doing this, you rat bastard. As always, everything that y'all do is reflexive. So even if this was already something that you was going to do, you probably was going to tell us about this never. Because you know we mad about it. So he was probably never going to tell us about this shit. Just some dumbass decided to spill the beans because they was like, oh, Trump is doing something for the Africans. You know what? We're going to show people that we giving Africans $1 billion. Why, there's people in America that could have used those $1 billion. Like these people that suffered through Hurricane Helen and the other hurricane and all those other hurricanes in Hawaii. And where else could the $1 billion could have been used? Well, you could have gave us all a damn sandwich. That. You could have just said, you know what? We got so much money, so this $1 billion left. That every American is going to get one sandwich. You could have did that. Or all you need to do is have a telephone number with from any of the major telephone companies, and we're gonna send a notification to your phone that's gonna be the equivalent of the monies and you could have just went, I don't know, Subway, whatever damn sandwich company, I don't know, fuck Subways, but that's it's in the most places. That's why I'm saying Subways, because everybody can find a Subway. So in the Subways, buy every is sandwich. You could have did that. Why are you always so happy they sending out money to other countries? And then y'all vote for these guys and y'all zippity do zippity. Why do y'all vote for these guys? And why y'all so mad when they don't get elected? All they do is send out money to other countries. Sheesh, fam. I don't get it. They be like, you know what? These taxes, I would hate for them to go to the American citizens. That's a Democrat. I would hate for the American citizens to be able to benefit from these hard-earned tax dollars that we all paying. That's these guys. What up, Lil? What could you extrapolate on that sentence? Great job reminding people what is really going on. That sounds like a double-layered comment being made. It sounded like that could be a backhanded compliment. I would like to extrapolate and just explain. Thank you, McFarlane. So I want to be clear on something. Zero misunderstandings. They're just giving money to other countries and then saying how we should be, look at Subways is up on the screens right now, and saying how we should be happy about it. I need an explanation. I need to know why this is okay. I need for the people who vote Democrat to say, look, I'm okay with the government. Just say what it is. Stop having these conversations with us about women's health and all this other stuff, because killing your baby ain't about women's health. All right? You just want to kill your baby. That's it. Whatever. I'm against it, but that's between you and God. That don't got nothing to do with me. But I'm against it, just so we can be clear. Only way I'm okay with it is the 3 exceptions. That's it. Other than that, I'm against it. Just being honest with you. Except for the 3 exceptions. That's rape, incest, and the life of the mother being at jeopardy. With the exception of those, I'm against it. It is what it is. I'm not trying to take away your rights. I can have an opinion. You're going to say you don't birth children. And I'm going to say, well, without men, y'all couldn't make any. How about that? What's more important, the ingredients of the oven? Shout out to all the women out there, by the way. I'm not coming at y'all. Just that argument pisses me off, just so we could be clear. I don't think it's fair to say that a man can't have any say or shouldn't have an opinion more or so about his seed being aborted in the womb. I don't think that's fair. Because if that seed is born, he is going to be expected to take care of it. And you're going to say, well, you shouldn't have laid down with her. And what he should have the right to say is, well, she killed 2 of my other kids. So I should have been able to have a say in that. We at the hour mark. We off the rails. Let's get back on track. Today's show, let's get back on track. I'm just gonna read y'all what the name of the title of the show was real quick and shit. Let's get back on track. Fani Willis loses again. YSL not guilty. Government admits Biden to ignite WW3. Let's pull up some stuff real quick. Make sure I got the right one. Make sure that I got the right one. Don't got the right one. There you go. I ain't know which ones is ads over here. Alright, hold on. Oh, wrong tab. What in the heck, fam? Oh, right tab. I wanted to point something out real quick. So I just saw this story yesterday, and I thought this was absolutely horrible. And this is the type of stuff that I'm constantly talking about. Like, we gotta figure out a way to bring God to the children. I'm not talking about church. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday about church specifically, and people going there or not going there and still, being advocates of the Most High. And what the Bible says is that anytime, anybody is any 2 or more. Well, first of all, the temple, our bodies is the temples of the Most High, and it also says anytime there's 2 or more people speaking on God in concert together, especially positively, that He's present. So we don't need to go to a building to be able to worship the Most High, is the point in which I'm making. So in conjunction with that, I just want to say we need to bring the children to God, meaning that not necessarily the church, but we need to have God in these kids' lives, because the type of things that's going on right now, your children better hope that they live a long enough life in order to do enough good to get from under some of this shit that they doing. So bullies sneak into ICU to snap photos of 12-year-old girl they drove to hang herself. This is the type of behavior children is on nowadays. Just so we could be clear, this isn't...
Unfortunately, words do hurt. They used to teach us sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never harm me.
know 60% of women experience leaks with their bladder protection pads? That's because many pads bunch when they're wet. Try Always Discreet. It's designed to protect. It has a unique core that converts liquid to gel for up to 0 leaks, 0 odor, and
So, allegedly, O.J. Simpson. Allegedly, O.J. Simpson confessed to killing Nicole Brown Simpson on tape, ex-bodyguard claims. But cops say they have no evidence. So anyway, O.J. Simpson allegedly confessed on tape to killing his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend. His former bodyguard has claimed, but cops say they have no evidence to back up any such existence, any such recordings existing. O.J. Simpson allegedly confessed on tape to killing his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, his former bodyguard has claimed. But cops say there's no evidence to back up that such a recording exists. So he's just saying it? I thought that actually was a thing. Like, not for nothing. The so-called confession was apparently said to be on a thumb drive that cops in Bloomington, Minnesota seized from Simpson's ex-bodyguard, Iroc Avelli, when he was arrested in an unrelated incident back in 2022, TMZ reported. Police started investigating after Avelli told them the purported confession was on the device earlier this year, but 2 months after Simpson died in Las Vegas in April. I don't know. That. You know who was just talking about this? So I saw this, and I don't. He's a pro Kamala, and if you're pro Kamala, so I got an issue with not him himself, but I personally can't watch his content anymore. That's Willie D. Because his content is so geared towards making Kamala look good that there's been times that I think that he said things that were wrong or not true and misled, and it's just things that I think he should have known better, just so we could be clear. So I can't even pretend just things I think he should have known, but that I can't believe he doesn't know better about, if that's fair. It's just things that I can't believe that he doesn't know better about. He probably doesn't. What the hell do I know? I don't know him as a person. Once again, Willie D, legendary member of the legendary group Ghetto Boys. His platform for years leading up until this specific election cycle has been top notch. If you weren't a channel that was saying favorable things about a specific candidate, it seemed like YouTube, or probably not YouTube, just you were flagged probably just more often than not. It has nothing to probably do with YouTube. Because a lot of what's being done is by computers, right? So if you can't get somebody's eyes on a thing, and so sometimes you got to be able to get people's eyes on the thing, and if a person, you get a human being's eyes on it, you have a better chance of something fair happening. Whereas if you're just going by the arbitrary binary agreements of a computer that just has information but can't contextualize it in a human manner, so it's completely different, right? You got to be understanding of that. What time is it? We hour and 13 minutes into the show. 1:39. Oh boy. What to tell you? Shout out to Brandon Washington. What up, Brandon Washington? Salute. Brandon Washington in the house. Lily McFarland said men should have a choice and an opinion. I agree. In any regard. So, real quick, what we have lined up for today. I think I got some gaming in yesterday. We're gonna get some gaming in today. And for anybody that hasn't guessed it, one of my favorite games to play is Star Wars Battlefront 2. But it's the Star Wars Classic Edition. As soon as I get a monitor in here, we're gonna be hopefully getting a new monitor soon. As soon as I get a new monitor in here, I'll be able to go over exactly what we're doing. It's still a process. It's the thing I'm waiting for right now. It's still a process. We get to there, then we'll be able to integrate all of this at a level that make it a little bit more accessible for everybody, and then we'll be able to take a couple of more steps in the direction in which we're trying to go at. So I say all that to say this: what we're doing over here, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of everybody that's behind the scenes that have been, instrumental to keeping everything afloat and putting us in the directions that we can make these things happen. I have a couple of designs that would like to get off the ground, and a lot of it just has to do with us being a community and doing community things together, even on a gaming platform. So even if it's not a game that you play, I promise I have ideas and concepts that's going to make it fun to play these games. At least that's the idea, just so we could be clear. So that's the idea, just so we could be clear. Also, I want to say once again, shout out to the Coney Island Sharks, their organization. Shout out to Coach Knight. Shout out to Miss Priscilla, Miss Sue also. Everybody that's involved in the organization. And all of the kids that come down there to the center and that play for the Sharks. Like, everybody. Because, just to be honest, it feels good to be able to go somewhere and do something. And to start working to get some structure and something together. Also, I want to say shout out to the coach of the freaking Greg. I'm going to remember the name of that college. But it's a college that we're going to also be working with very soon. I know other colleges too. I know more than one coach that works at in different high schools and colleges and stuff like that. I just was having a conversation with him yesterday, and he's already doing a thing. He asked me to say, you know what, he would like to work together, and I'm gonna find it interesting. So we're gonna be working with this college very soon, or at least somebody that works at the college, and we're gonna see what we can turn that into, and that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It was the volleyball, the college that we went to for the volleyball. They had the girls volleyball coach. Great guy, by the way. And he got a jump shot, like, not for nothing. He came to the park. He was just, like, busting that shit. I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. I did not know that you could hoop a little. He could hoop a little. You know what I'm saying? He was busting that jump shot, though. Bam. So I just wanted to give thanks to, all of the people that we're talking about getting some stuff done. And shout out to the church, obviously, that I've been going to currently. It feels good to just go somewhere where I can hear people talking about the word. So, I don't really want to interject much ever, but it feels good to just hear people talking about the word and hear how other people's interpretation is, and be able to worship the Most High with other people that's doing the same thing. So that's kind of dope. I like that. Definitely always look forward to Sunday. P. Diddy denied bail for third time. He's never going to get bail. They can't give him bail because he's a threat to everyone. And the number one reason why I promise you they're not going to give him bail is because they want to make sure nobody don't get to him. So him not getting bail is not only because he's a threat to everyone. It's also because, obviously, you seen what happened to Epstein? Like, you want us to just let you go. That's the shit, by the way. You see what happened to Epstein, and you just want us to let you go. You talking about, nah, I can take care of myself. Fam, I'm telling you right now, these dudes that they gonna send, you're not gonna be able to take care of yourself. Could I say something real quick? Can we talk about Mexico? I'm gonna talk about Mexico for a moment. So Trump said, freaking Trump said that they're gonna basically declare war on the cartels in Mexico. That they're going to send their number one guys from the military. So, could I just remind y'all what happens whenever America sends their military into a country to remove shit like rebels? Generally, now that becomes our land. Tell me where the lie at. Because the minute we move out, they're going to come right back. I don't think you're listening to me. I don't think people be paying attention. I be saying stuff. And I be foretelling, or not even foretelling, but I be foreshadowing. I be saying a lot of shit. Be telling y'all what's foreshadowing. I be like, yo, look, this thing is happening. Watch, this thing is gonna happen. And you know, historically speaking, you know, I'll have people in the chat telling people I'm crazy. They can't do that now because I've been right so many times. So now they just got to come in the chat and just say lies about me. They can't come in the chat and just say I'm wrong and then say why don't you ask them about, and just bring up shit that's lies. Because remember, the media has been just lying to us since Trump was the president. So I would say something and people will bring up one of the lies that the media is saying in here to try to prove me incorrect while I'm saying the actual fact. So I'm saying all that to say this. What generally happens when America moves troops into a land to move out an insurgent party, or to move out a rebelling party, or a party that is aggressive to either that nation or aggressive to America? What generally happens, America keeps troops in that area to make sure that it can make sure that those people never rise back up again. Tell me where the lie is at. Do you understand what's going on? Did y'all hear that there's other countries that's like, yo, Trump, why don't you come invade us because they hate their government? Trump made a joke about Trudeau just making Canada the 51st nation and 51st state. And then in addition to that, on his Twitter, he posted a picture of him standing on a mountain, obviously AI generated, standing on a mountain looking off into the wilderness, other mountains, with a flag next to him, and it's the Canadian flag. And those mountains are snowy. Pay attention. Pay attention. The liberals have absolutely messed up Canada. They're not becoming the 51st state. That's not going to happen. But the liberals have absolutely messed up Canada. The cartels have absolutely messed up Mexico, even worse than it already is, and have invaded America and created an issue where they are now absolutely terrorists of America, and America could deem them terrorists. And once America deemed a party terrorist, they will go into another nation and go get their ass and tell me where I'm wrong at. Remember, we had to pull out of Afghanistan. When did Afghanistan happen? See, that's the problem when you just be telling people facts. I'm held to such a standard at this point that I'm never going to be able to reach it. It's a metric that is impossible. Because what could I do other than do what I've continuously did and tell you what's going on? I can't do anything other than that. And I've predicted, or I have said things were going to happen that ended up eventually happening so many times. So what can I do grander than that? I have to create some other type of media, because as far as this is concerned, what can I do grander than that? Shout out to the Most High. Glory be to God. Jesus is King. I've done none of this by myself or on my own. Actually, I've done none of this. I'm just a conduit. Just so we can be clear.
Time now is 6:36. We now have a verdict in the YSL RICO trial, the longest running trial in state history.
But there are still 11 defendants who have not been tried here in this case. 11 Alive's Karis Belger live from the Fulton County Courthouse. So Karis, on one hand, we have that verdict, but we also know 11 other defendants. They had this status hearing. Tell us, how is that possible?
Well, a few defendants have not taken any plea deals. We know a few are also in prison already for other crimes, and at least 3 currently do not have any attorneys. And it took 4 days for the jury to come back with a verdict for Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick, also known as Yacht Gotti. Both men were found not guilty on almost every charge. Stillwell was found guilty of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Now, Stillwell's attorney briefly spoke with reporters about the case in front of the courthouse after the verdict came down. Here's just a little of what he had to say.
I think the world got to see how cases can be built the wrong way, just finding people that are prone to lie and talking to them at their most desperate time to try to get them to say things about other people.
And we also received a statement from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office after the verdict came down. It said, and I quote, "We always respect the verdict of a jury." In Atlanta, I'm Karis Belger, 11 Alive News.
Right now on 11 Alive Plus, you can watch the moment from inside the courtroom.
That's interesting. Sheesh. Sheesh. That's crazy. So you mean to tell me that Fani Willis had 2 cases and both of them just absolutely collapsed on her? The one that Trump, he can't even go after? And just so we could be clear, she might be held criminal charged with, well, she might be held liable criminally liable and civilly liable, I guess, because of laws that she broke in order to bring Trump up on charges. Just so we could be clear. She got reelected. I think she better go try to just, she better be like, I don't want to be elected no more. So I want all of the unelected. Please, could you unelect me? No more elections. This job is too much. I'm doing all of the things that's getting me in trouble. I'm banging the co-workers. I'm taking monies I'm not supposed to be taking. I need to be out of here immediately. Yeah, so I already knew that was gonna happen. I told you it's gonna get worse for her, by the way. It's gonna get worse for her because first of all, that dude that she was banging, he gonna snitch because he don't want to go to jail. It's about to get worse for her. Way worse, I promise you. It's about to get worse. I'd be surprised if she is able to maintain her position through the next 4 years or however long her term is. I'd be surprised if she's able to maintain her position without being removed and replaced in one form or another. Just being honest with you. Because if what I think is about to happen is about to happen, they've already subpoenaed. She has to turn over all of the communications between her and her office and the White House pertaining to a specific time period and the conversations they had about the January 6th individuals that were tried. So they have to turn over those communications. So if they in any way colluded with the White House to go after these people, they're screwed. You know how many people went to jail? You know the lawsuits? So they're screwed. That part. So, they're screwed. She's done. And we're going to see exactly how that happened. You know, we're going to see how that work out. But she's done. And they got to get some of these people out of these positions. I literally were just hiring women because they were black women. Just because they was black women. Not because they had any other. AOC gets hired because she's, Puerto Rican or Cuban or some shit? AOC, they hired her in the Bronx. Why? Because she's of Spanish heritage. So they hired her. You have no idea how many Spanish people is in the Bronx if you don't understand that there's Spanish people in the Bronx. That's why every time somebody say that people that speak Spanish had nothing to do with hip hop, I'm like, how? There's no way anything came out of the Bronx and it didn't have any type of Latin or any type of I guess Latin influence. It's just impossible. There's too many people in the Bronx. It's just too many. Pardon me, too many Spanish-speaking people in the Bronx. Just too many. It's like when they came to New York, this is where they all came. Or there is where they all came. I don't currently live in the Bronx, but that's where they all went. It's what it's like, fam. And this is not a bad thing. I love my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters. I love my Dominican brothers and sisters. This is not me coming at them. This is just me explaining. There's no way you could say, that's why I believe AOC got elected. She's pretty. We're not going to act like she isn't. Okay, she's pretty. She's pretty, and she turned on her, Latin energy, and she got elected. Is what it is. There's some kind of hoax going up that she's the top for 2028 presidency. I mean, fuck it. If y'all want to give it to the Republicans again, let's go. But you do understand the reason why she's top. Because she's of Spanish heritage, Latin heritage. And they feel like since they can't gaslight the blacks anymore, now they're going to go after that demographic. They're going to try it out for a couple of years and see how it works. So they can see if they're going to go into the actual election season with, not her necessarily, but with someone of her ethnicity. Because the black vote, you're not going to get it no more. Pardon me. It doesn't matter. They got 98% of black women and something like more black men than they usually get voted for Kamala, and she still lost. Super landslide. That part. Like 90-something% of black women and like more black men than generally vote Democrat. A higher percentage voted Democrat and for Kamala. And it was a landslide. You do know that the Democrats are going to stop pretending to care about black people now. Now you're going to see what it really is. They're going to stop pretending. I mean, I think that's better for all of us, just so we can be clear. They're going to stop pretending. Now they're going to pretend to care about people that speak Spanish. And I'm not talking about the voters. I'm talking about the elected officials. I believe the voters do care about black people. And I believe the voters do care about everybody. I believe that the voters care about people. I'm talking about the elected officials. Just so we can be clear. People be like, oh man, he's talking about... No, I'm not. I'm talking about the elected officials. Are they the far left and the elected officials? That's what I'm talking about. The far left. I'm talking about the ones that's out here doing too much. Yeah, I am talking about them also. They're doing too much. Talking about them also. Just so we be clear. But basically, I'm only talking about the elected officials. I'm not even talking about the ones that you get into a debate with about the topics. I'm not even talking about them. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that, you got get into the conversation. They say their points, you say your points, you just keep it pushing. I'm 100% cool with that. That's great. But it's when you say your points, they say your... Because I'm not going to try to force you to think the way that I think. I'm just going to display the information and you'll gravitate to what you gravitate to. And I want you to treat me the same way. That's it. I just whatever I gravitate to, allow me to gravitate to. The stuff that I don't, allow me not to. And that's how I'm going to treat you. I'm going to say some things and you might gravitate to some of the things and you might not gravitate to the others. And that's fine. You have your own journey with God, just like I have my own journey with God. So there's just certain things that are going to be hidden from me right now that you might be able to see, and vice versa. Right? I'm just saying. So no, I'm fine with people, and that's a total misconception. Why you think when they don't come in here to just try to disagree with me anymore? Because they try to tell people it's because we don't agree with him. He tried to argue, and that was never it. That wasn't it at all. It was never that. I just also don't want it. You're coming in here to waste our time. It's one thing for you to say crap in the comment section, but it's another thing that if I just let you say the crap and I just keep going, now you got to yell at me. Frost, read my comment. Frost, read my comment. Just so because you want to create a situation. So yeah, I'm kicking you. I don't want to deal with that. People be wanting to be your friend so bad, they just don't want to treat you right. They want to be your friend, but they want to be your friend, but they also want to be disrespectful to you. They also want to treat you in a way that you don't deserve. Know your worth. Not your value. Know your worth. Your value is what others denote that you are. Others denote your value. Your worth is what you believe yourself to be. Know your worth, not your value. Your value is important to others. A lot of people are not valued, and they're worth so much, but they're not valued. It always depends on the communities also, or the people that you're around. Certain people value other things. Certain people value honesty. Certain people don't. Certain people value somebody being conniving. Certain people don't. Certain people value somebody is, trying to be a good role model. Some people don't value that. Some people consider that to be weakness. Why are you trying to be a good role model for the kids? F them kids. So some people value those things. Some people don't. For me to get angry at the people who don't value that is crazy. But I can feel a way about how people decide to exhibit what they do and don't value. And if they try to negatively impact a situation or a person because of their lack of value for that individual, then yeah, that individual should feel away. Not about the way that they feel, but about the actions that is a result of the way that they feel. You should feel away. Why shouldn't you? It's okay to not like me, but it's not okay to, disrespect me. It's not okay to, try to harm me. That part is not okay. It's okay not to like me. What the hell? I might not like you, fam. You just don't know it because I'm not doing anything to you. I'm minding my business and tending to my shit. So you don't know I don't like you. But I might not like you. I'm just, my emotional intelligence tells me that I don't have to exhibit my distaste for you. That I can, show people that I do appreciate and like and value, that I appreciate, like, and value them. And I don't have to go around people who I do not appreciate, like, or value and be like, I'm going to let you know my whole life is dedicated to showing you how much I hate you. Like, that's not a way that I would want to live. And I would have to assume that anybody living that way is just preparing they bed in hell, assuming. You're just like, you know what? You're going to go to hell anyway. You might as well go there in a rocket ship. Like screaming fire coming out the sides of it. Might as well go there as historically quick as possible. Right? That's what some people, move. Going to hell anyway. We might as well go there as epic as possible. Let's do all of the things to make sure that the worst things happen to us after we not here no more. So, that's how some people think. Or at least that's their actions. So I assume that's how they think. Just saying. If you just actively out here just doing evil shit all the time, I'm gonna assume that you know they convinced people that going to hell is more fun than heaven. I don't think people understand. You do know Satan is gonna not be the ruler of hell, but he's actually gonna be in hell suffering also, right? That's how bad hell is gonna be. The guy that y'all worship right now, he's gonna not be there with a pitchfork laughing like I'm gonna make you suffer. He's literally gonna be in hell suffering with you in the pit of fire. That's how bad it is. I don't think people get that part. Stop letting them to trick you. But with all of this iconography and imagery, that what's actually happened is something that isn't actually happening. Just so we could be clear. What we got? We're going on 2 hours. I wanted to do a 2-hour show. So we're going on 2 hours. I'm going to try to stick out the next 20 minutes. What time we got? 10:08. Anything else y'all guys want to discuss? Put it in the chat. All of the chats. We need another monitor. We get this next monitor. We gonna watch what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be and I got some video footage we're gonna be editing. We're gonna be having a lot more gaming that's also gonna be going up, but it's not gonna be streamed. It's gonna be pre-recorded and edited and everything like that in our studio and everything. So we got a lot more stuff coming with gaming specifically, just so we could be clear. And also, I'm advising people that Battlefront game is like $20, man. I'm telling you, that shit is fun. Fun. It's a runner. It's a dope run. It's basically a running gunner. But, like, Call of Duty is a first-person shooter, FPS. So a running gunner is like Contra. Do you remember Contra from NES from the 1980s? So, or it came out in the 80s, not 70s, 80s, Capcom. So Contra was a running gunner. That's just a game that you just run around and you shoot enemies. That's what this is. It's a running gunner. It's fun. Fun. And then you be in there with ads and you be in there with people. So there's other people in there with you also. In the room, that's another reason why we gotta get the other thing. So I gotta get my rooms up. And the room, depending on how you can make it, I think you can make it hold a total of 32 humans and 64 I think it's 32 humans and 64 ads, or it's 32 humans and 32 ads. It's one of the two. But in any regard, sheesh, it's just a running gunner, fam. And sometimes it be like a ton of shit going on, and your reflexes got to be like this, and your brain got to be working. And also, just for everybody to also get an understanding of this, they're saying that kids that actually play video games, their ability to react and compute advanced, and like that helps with that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like kids playing video games like that. But I think they're saying specific types of games works on different parts of the brain. And for everybody that say, "Oh, that's crazy, that's so stupid," you know, video games was designed first to be a military training tool, right? The first video game, I believe Pong, was created by the military as a training tool. Look it up. So the Department of Defense, or I don't know if Department of Defense, I don't know which department was in charge of that type of stuff back then, to be honest with you. But yeah, so the first video game created by our military. I don't know, Lily McFarlane. Somebody put my Cash App in the chat and you find out what happened to the saloon. Here you go. You want to know what happened to the saloon? Pull up to the Cash App. Other than that, I don't have no answers for you. I tell you what happened to the saloon. Pull up to the Cash App and we'll have the saloon right now. How about that? Watch another question. about something else that don't got nothing with this person pulling up to the Cash App or the saloon. Watch. I told you that person said something earlier. I told you that person said something earlier. And I was like, so what do you mean by that? And then it was like, no, it's good. No, they made a comment saying, great, reminding the people what's really going on. Like, what the fuck do you mean what's really going on? Like, what the hell you mean by that? Like, what's really going on? I haven't been excited about doing morning coffee in I don't know how many months. And so you finally get a day where I'm excited about being on morning coffee. What are you telling people? So I can't be excited about doing this. And being excited about doing this show is what makes the show. So anytime you see me excited about doing the show, what are you telling people? So whenever I'm doing the show the way the show is supposed to be doing, the show is supposed to go, what are you telling people? But if I wasn't excited in here and I was just in here and I was just, you know, how it's been going, then you're going to say the show's whack, right? No, I get it. Whatever, demonize whatever it is that I'm doing. I 100% get it. In any regard, I'm waiting for them to do the next comment before I kick them. So we're going to wait. But that person's getting kicked before the show's out. In any regard, anything else y'all guys want to talk about? The trolls is coming in here. I don't really want to deal with them. If they're going to be the only people I'm going to be talking to. And this, we should have been to the talking era. And I only wanted to make it 2 hours anyway. We had a minute. We had 1 hour and 47 seconds. That's close enough. Anything else y'all guys want to talk about, put it in the chat. I'll give y'all a minute or two. If there is something that you want to talk about, I'll speak on it. And if not, then I won't. But I've actually gave a lot of great factual information today. I'm pretty sure it's going to be criticized in some manner. And then, as usual, in the future, it's going to be found out that the thing that I said I was right about. So I know that that's going to happen. The people that's telling you all of these negative things about me, they know that's going to happen too. They just don't want me to be able to benefit through the time of being right. They want everybody to always pull up and say, oh, he was right. But every time I say something, to believe that I'm wrong. So it is what it is. That's the way Satan works. He's never going to stop coming after me, ever. I'm expecting this run into some of them when I go outside today. I always expect to run into them every day. There's no day that I don't expect to run into them. I don't care about that. An alert came up about something that I don't care about. All right, I'm going to let y'all go. We're going to be gaming at some point today. Probably shortly, because I don't really want to step outside, so I'm not even going to go get lunch. I don't know. I'm still debating. I don't really want to go out this. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go get lunch. I'm still debating. So with that being said, Bing Bang says, you think anything will go down when Kendrick tour hits Canada? No. I think if something was possibly for it to go down, Drake wouldn't be trying to sue him. And Universal, right? I think that suing is the last ditch effort, right? So, I don't think nothing's going to happen. I think if something does happen, Drake honestly wouldn't have anything to do with it. Is that fair? Like, it would really just be some rogue agents. Like, for real, for real. But I don't expect anything to happen. And I also expect for wherever he's at, for them to, like, give, like, there's no security agency that's going to be able to explain away not knowing that they needed to have the optimum security present when this dude got there. And that's if it still goes down. Maybe they be like, yo, we don't think we can secure you. Don't come to Canada. Who knows? Right? That's a possibility. They'd be like, yo, look, we got to call it off. But I don't think that's going to happen. What up, Jamal Fareed says, salute, Mods, BBN family. All in the chat. Hit that button on the way in. Share, subscribe. It's free. But I don't know. Right? We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean his people. Yeah, not him. I don't think. I think at this point Drake knows if something happens to Kendrick at all, he's gonna be in trouble. And even if he has nothing to do with it, like, do you really want government agencies looking into you? Like, do you really want that? Like, do you really want that? And then also think about this. I know Trump. They didn't let Trump use "not like us." Trump used "not like us," I think, once, and was told to stop using it. They didn't let him. So one thing Trump has been consistent with is if an American goes to another country and something happens to him, it's on and popping. So just saying. You could say, yeah, people love to say how he's racist and all this, but when our black celebrities, our rappers go to other countries and they run into problems, who pulling up? When our rappers is running into problems in America, who's been pulling up? It took Biden how long did it take Biden to get the basketball player back from Russia? And had to give them like so much. Bing Bang says, that's what I'm saying. It would be bad for Drake if anything does happen, and more people will probably turn on him. Yeah, more people like the government of America. Yeah, more people like the government of America. They're gonna turn on him immediately, all the way around. They're gonna do a 360 into a 180 into a 90. All of the problems. Remember, Trump's been that dude, fam. Trump's been that dude. I don't know what to tell you. Trump's been that dude. The saloon's always open. Nobody has any obligation to pull up to the saloon. But if somebody would like to pull up to the saloon, obviously we would appreciate it. Nobody has any obligation ever to pull up to the saloon, ever. We're fine. Don't worry about it. If you want to have fun, pull up to the saloon. If not, then let's just do our show. We're not trying to pressure nobody into doing anything. And I don't really like for people to mention the saloon unless it's because they're pulling up to it. So I'm asking for you to not do that again. You could do what you want to do, though. It's a free country. You're not doing that. In any regard, let me get up out of here. Is there anything else y'all want to ask me about real quick before I duck? I appreciate the encouragement, Mr. Few. But we don't do encouragement like that. We encourage by doing something first. If we want to encourage people, we have to first take those steps. That's generally what I try to do in my regular everyday life. Just so we could be clear. We don't encourage people by doing things by trying to pressure them or shame them. We encourage people by doing things by being a leader and doing it first. So you could be a leader or you could be a bully. Don't say sorry to me. I'm not the one that you put on the spot. Jamal Fareed is. You should be saying sorry to him. He didn't do anything to me. Nah, nobody. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's not even something I want to. I talked about it too long anyway. It's not nothing. In any regard, everybody have a blessed day. Go out there, do something worth doing, and stamp God's name on it. Let people know that you came in the name of the Most High. Let people know that you came in the name of the Most High. That's what we're doing. You can't be concerned with people being angry. Sometimes you can't be concerned. It's okay. People are gonna be angry, and when people believe, a lot of things that is what the Most High want us to do, and a lot of the ways that the behaviors that they want us, the Most High will prefer that we have, our society looks down on. So you literally have to choose Earth or the Most High. And if you choose Earth, believe me when I tell you, you're going to have such a happy life. But choosing the Most High, you won't necessarily. So it's really what's important to you. It's really what's important to you. With all of whatever the hell I gotta endure, I'm still gonna choose God. I don't even expect things to get better. I just wish that my faith gets stronger. That's it. I just wish for my faith to get stronger. And I wish that I don't make missteps and I never encourage others to do evil. That my actions don't encourage anyone that is observing me to take a position that doesn't allow for them to grow closer to the Most High. I pray that. I think I focus my prayers on that instead of focus my prayers on having an easier life. What up, Trife? Yeah. So I don't really pray for myself. I don't really pray for an easier life. That's not even a thought. It's not even a consideration. But I do pray that I get closer to the Most High. I do pray that I do no harm to others. That's important to me. Yeah, everything's good. Trife. So with that being said, I'm going to let y'all guys go. And I pray that God looks over everybody today and helps you make the decisions that allow for you to be the best reflection of Him that you can. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Ballmans. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I get on this one. I'm
Hey! Is the noon train on time?
It's supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.